Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Resource Week. This is our second week of our See You at Home series, and I'm very excited to be sharing with you a special guest today. So my name is Emily, and I'm a recruitment officer here at Carleton. And today is day one of Resource Week for our See You at Home series. So today we're featuring our Student Experience Office, and I'm going to be bringing on a special guest to talk to you in just a moment about the really cool initiatives that we have for you, different resources and supports that are available to you as first-year students. And hopefully this will give you a cool sneak peek as to what life is going to be like as a future Raven. Now, before I begin the presentation, I just want to start by acknowledging that Carleton University acknowledges the location of its campus on the traditional unceded territories of the Algonquin Nation. And we always do this out of respect for our Indigenous communities here in Canada. So I won't take up too much more of your time. I'm going to pass it off to Grace in just a few minutes to talk about the Student Experience Office. Grace is actually a Carleton graduate. She graduated from the Bachelor of Commerce, and she works in our Student Experience Office as a Student Engagement and Orientation Coordinator. So I'm going to pass it over to Grace to give you some insight as to what it's going to be like to be a first-year student at Carleton. All right, take it away, Grace.
Thank you very much, Emily. Hi, everyone. As Emily mentioned, my name is Grace and I work in the Student Experience Office at Carleton. I'm very excited for you to get started in your studies here at Carleton as an alum. I certainly think you've made a great choice, and congratulations on being accepted. So I'll start off with what the Student Experience Office really is. So our office provides programs and initiatives to students that complement their academic experience, and a number of our programs actually support the new student entering Carleton University through programs that support your transition and get you acclimated to life at Carleton. The first of which being CU 1001. So CU 1001 is a free optional program to new students, to providing new students with information on the many services and resources available to make sure that you start your courses informed and confident. It's comprised of 5 pillars, as you can see here. The academics pillars provides information on the adjustment to academics at university, and some information on various services to help you be successful academically, like the Center for Student Academic Support, and a few more. The finances module provides information on things like scholarship and applying for bursaries, how paying your tuition works, and some of the ins and outs all related to finances. The campus life module has a wealth of information on the many different kind of facets of campus life at Carleton, how to get involved on campus, how to purchase textbooks, what you can use your campus card for, and so on. It's a really great module with a lot of helpful information. The wellness module provides information on the health and fitness facilities at Carleton, things like intramural sports, mental health initiatives such as our therapy dog program, as well as health and counseling services, just to name a few. And lastly, the employability module provides information related to the co-op program, as well as career services. So this is CU 1001, as I mentioned, takes place during the summer. So registration will launch in mid-June, I think June 15th, and the program will be available in July and August. And it's actually a program that you go through asynchronously, so you do it on your own time, at your own pace. It takes about 3 to 4 hours, but we do have live sessions available. So if you want to chat further with a representative from one of the offices who are featured, as well as other students on campus, we will have some live sessions, and those dates will be more advertised once CU 1001 launches in July. So it is free. Registration will launch in June, as I mentioned. Moving into the fall term and actually getting started in your classes is Fall Orientation Week. So Fall Orientation Week is a week of programming at the start of the fall term to help students connect with the Carleton campus and connect with fellow Ravens. Through participating in the events, you'll meet other new students as well as upper year volunteers who help to execute many of the events that take place. Programming will start on September 5th, which is a Sunday, in the evening, go all day on Monday and into the evening, and then move just into the evening Tuesday and beyond as classes get started at that time. All of our programming is planned to be offered virtual this year, and the schedule is not yet released. We're going to have it released in late June, early July, but to give a bit of a teaser of what kind of happened last year, there was an illusionist, Mentalist from America's Got Talent, a number of different game nights like bingo, trivia, smaller events like paint nights and yoga as well. And we also had a musical concert, virtual concert with the Arkells. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to meet other Carleton students and get a sense of what the Carleton community has to offer new students as well. There are 3 programs, so depending on what program of study you're going into, you'll be automatically registered into one of 3 fall orientation programs when you sign up. The first being NSFROSH for students entering the Faculty of Engineering and Design. Students entering the Sprott School of Business will be registered into the SPROSH program, and students entering a program in the Faculty of Science, the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, or the Faculty of Public Affairs will be enrolled in the Centralized or General program. And all that really means is that if you're in SPROSH or NSFROSH, you'll be put in a team with students in similar programs as you. But many of the events will be the same. You'll all get kind of very similar events that you can attend. So Fall Orientation Week is also optional. There is a cost associated. This is the only program we offer that does have a cost. The cost is $69.99 and registration is actually already open. So after this, you can go right on over and register. Included in that cost, you get access to the many events that we will have on, as well as what we call a Ravens starter kit. And it's basically a box full of Ravens goodies. You'll get a hoodie, a couple of t-shirts, a mask, a toque, coupons, and lots more as well. And if you're interested in learning more or registering, it's carleton.ca/fall orientation, and you've probably received a few emails as well with information about fall orientation. Within fall orientation, on the Tuesday, September 7th, is what we call Academic Orientation Day. So this is it's the only day that's mandatory for all students, and students outside, whether you're registered in fall orientation or not, all students are expected to attend. Academic Orientation Day, so as I mentioned, will take place on Tuesday, September 7th in the morning, and it's an introduction to your faculty, your program of study. You'll receive more information to your Carleton email closer to that date. But really, it's an introduction to your area of study, a way to connect with some of the key staff or faculty in your program, as well as fellow peers that will be joining your program as well. And then in the afternoon on Tuesday, September 7th, so on the same day, is what we call Expo Carleton. This is also open to students, whether you're enrolled in fall orientation or not. And Expo Carleton is basically a trade show or a resource fair of the many different clubs and groups that students can get involved in on campus. We have over, I think, 250 clubs, so there's lots of involvement opportunities. And Expo Carleton is a way to connect with the representatives from these groups, learn more, or sign up to be a member. Both Academic Orientation Day and Expo Carleton will also be offered virtually as well this year. Now moving into the start of the actual term, the final program I wanted to touch on that we have available for new students to support the transition into the Carleton community is the mentorship program, First Year Connections. First Year Connections is a great way so you're paired with an upper year student who acts as a mentor during the first 6 weeks of the fall term, so from early September until mid-October. It is free and it's also optional as well. And registration will be active, I believe, in late June for students to sign up. By signing up, you get paired with an upper year mentor, and it's a person that you can meet with weekly, ask any questions you have. They can provide you with some really helpful resources about different Carleton services and navigate that transition into the Carleton community, and also start preparing you with some strategies to achieve any personal or academic goals that you may have for your time at university. So that's a lot about kind of the programs that we provide to students to support your transition into the Carleton community, but the Student Experience Office also provides programs to students in any year of study all year long. So I'm going to chat a little bit about a few of those now. The first being the Campus Activity Board, or the acronym CAB is what we call it. So CAB is a student-led group that provides fun events and activities for students throughout the year. In the past, we've had events like Epic Bingo, where we give out epic prizes, TVs, AirPods, speakers, lots of gift cards and Ravens swag as well. We also offer other game nights like trivia, The Price is Right, Family Feud, paint nights, yoga workshops. This past year, we had a workshop on plant care. So lots of diverse events meeting kind of different ranges of interests. Attending CAB events are great for students because you get a chance to connect with fellow Ravens as well and win prizes. As I mentioned, we give out prizes at most of our events. And students, can also volunteer with CAB. So if you've attended a few events or if you're looking to kind of get a little bit more involved, we do accept students to volunteer with actually executing our events. Onto the next slide. Another initiative that the Student Experience Office provides to students is the SOAR Leadership Conference. This is a one-day conference, usually it's in January, where students can participate through workshops and presentations and learn various leadership skills and approaches. Something that's great about SOAR is many of the presentations are actually led by fellow Carleton students, as well as Carleton alumni, staff and faculty, and community members. Another cool feature of the SOAR conference is usually there's a keynote speaker. This past year it was Martin Luther King III. We've also welcomed Chris Hadfield and Arlene Dickinson, to name a few. More information will be promoted once in the fall term, but it's something to definitely keep your eye out for. It's a great day of learning. And lastly, I wanted to highlight CUX. So there's lots on campus, lots for students to get involved in at Carleton, but sometimes it can be, hard to know where to go. So CUX is the place to go to find out what events are taking place. It's basically an event calendar with the many different events going on, information on how to register, where the events are taking place and whatnot. So carleton.ca/CUX. I just wanted to highlight that as something you might want to write down to find out what's going on in the Carleton community. So that's the end of my little presentation. Emily, I'll pass it back to you for any questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Grace. It was really great to hear from you and hear about all of the really great resources that are available to students who are coming into their first year. And I actually have to say, I would go to Epic Bingo Night every single month and I loved it. It was so much fun. I was never lucky enough to win any of the prizes, but all of my friends were and they took away some really cool things. So I definitely recommend for you folks to get involved and take advantage of the really cool opportunities like that are going to get you involved with the Carleton community. So Grace, I do have some incoming questions here from a few different students. So I'll just, if we can do a little Q&A here, that would be great. Our first question is about CU 1001. So I have a student asking, does CU 1001 include volunteer work as well? And do they get certificates for any involvement they have with volunteering?
Thanks, Emily. Great question. So first I'm going to actually chat about the co-curricular record. So the co-curricular record is a tool available to all Carleton students through the Student Experience Office, where students can track their volunteer opportunities and co-curricular opportunities on campus. It's a great tool if you're going to apply for jobs at any point in your undergraduate degree or after, and looking at grad schools and whatnot, because it's an official transcript that highlights the involvement you've had on campus and what you've achieved through it. Specifically to CU 1001, students who participate can get co-curricular credit for their participation in CU 1001. There are no specific volunteer opportunities available within the program, but it is a great way to learn about the volunteer opportunities available on campus, as the Campus Life module will touch on many of those different aspects of getting involved in volunteer capacities.
Perfect, thank you. And now I have a few questions here about Fall Orientation Week. So I'll start with this first one. I know you touched on it a little bit, but maybe you could go over it again. I have someone who's saying that they're unsure of which fall orientation program to choose from. How do they know that they're selecting the correct one? I'm assuming they're talking about NSPROSH versus like SPROSH. And if they are not able to arrive in Canada next semester, what will happen with that registration fee? Will it be online? Could you just let us know what that might look like?
Absolutely. So it's to register for fall orientation. It's one registration form. So if students were to go to carleton.ca/fall orientation, they would see the sign up for fall orientation. When you put in your program of study, whether it's Bachelor of Arts in Biology or whatnot, it will automatically enroll you in the program specific to your faculty. So if a student is in the Bachelor of Engineering in Aerospace and they click that, it'll automatically enroll them in the NSPROSH program, for example. So it's pretty simple that way. As I mentioned, regardless of what sort of fall orientation program you're in, everyone will get a very similar experience being able to attend events with fellow students, and many of the events are shared events as well. In terms of participating, if you're not able to be in Canada, so all of the events should be accessible regardless of where students are, provided they have an internet connection, as they'll be offered virtually. The Raven Starter Kit is available to students for either shipping or curbside pickup. There is a cost associated with shipping, and it varies based on if they're local to Canada or international, but we'll begin shipping kits in July and August up until September. There's nothing included in the kit that's needed to participate, so if the kit arrives after Fall Orientation Week begins, that's okay. You can participate without that.
That's great. I love that it's very accessible and that people are able to join no matter where they are in the world. So our next question is, what is the Ravens Galaxy Fall Orientation? Do you think you could give us a little bit of information on that theme?
Sure. So each orientation week has a theme, and it's really a little bit more fun. Students will be placed on a team, and every team has a team name that goes with the theme. So this year, for the SPROSH program and the centralized program, the theme is Ravens Galaxy, which basically is an outer space theme. So all students will be placed on a team which has an outer space theme to it, things like the Space Rangers, the Voyagers, and so on. Beyond that, it's more just about fun. There are a few activities that are team competition based as well, things like Carleton trivia and whatnot, where teams can win points to win Team of the Week. But most of the events are kind of beyond the team kind of requirement, and students can attend based on interest. So we'll have multiple events going on at one time, and students can choose to attend one based on their interest. But the theme in the Ravens Galaxy is just a bit of fun tied into it.
Yeah, I love that. That seems like a very fun theme. I always love seeing the different themes that come out every year. So our next question is, are there any differences in the programs held, but like what's the difference between Frosh and Engfrosh and then Sprosh? I know you already touched on it a little bit, but maybe you could give us an idea of what activities differ from program to program.
Absolutely. I'll start with the Engfrosh program. So students in the Engfrosh program take place in a few different events throughout the week. The schedule's, again, not yet live for Engfrosh, but last year, because the programming was virtual, there was a Minecraft competition. There was also a really cool remote control race car competition where there was a live stream to a remote control car, and teams had to use coding to navigate it through a track, and then the teams that did this the most effectively won. There's also virtual scavenger hunts that are planned as well, and then some specific programming within the Faculty of Engineering and Design to connect students with various kind of student leaders in that faculty. In Sprosh, many of the Sprosh events are very similar to what the centralized events are. There's 3 to 4 specific Sprosh events for students entering the Sprott School of Business. They are not yet confirmed. I believe one will be a case competition. So one of the key features of a business degree is participating in cases, business cases. And so there will be one of these kind of a friendly competition as part of Sprosh Week. And then the other events will be geared more towards learning about the Sprott clubs and societies and networking with some of the student leaders. And then in the centralized program, the events will be similar to what I chatted about before. Last year we had a mentalist, an illusionist, and a lot of events really geared to connect students with the Carleton campus, the various clubs on campus, the athletics department, and what our Ravens teams are doing, and so on.
That's awesome. It sounds like there's a lot of really great stuff planned. The next question I have here is, I know fall orientation, you said there's a fee, but is there a fee to join any of the other activities or clubs or just events that you talked about?
Great question. Yeah, so there are no other fees with any of the programs I offered or mentioned. We try and keep all of our programs as low to no cost as possible. The nature of fall orientation is why there's an additional fee, but all the other programs are free and available to students.
That's great. I think I have one last question here. If someone decides, so if someone pays the fall orientation fee and then decides later on in the summer or that they would like to defer for a year, do they get that feedback, or is that refundable?
Yeah, we can make exceptions for the fall orientation fee and refund if needed.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Grace. That wraps up our Q&A section, but I just wanted to thank you again for joining us and chatting with us about all the really cool opportunities that are available to students.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us today for day one of Resource Week. This one featured the Student Experience Office, which has a lot of really great resources and opportunities for you as a first-year Carleton student. Please join us. We have something new every single day this week. We are going to talk about residents. We're going to talk about awards and financial aid. The Center for Student Academic Support, as well as the Paul Menon Center for Students with Disabilities. So please join us this week. You can check our schedule on our website, which is admissions.carleton.ca. And then, of course, stay connected with us on our various social media channels so you can keep up to date and see what's going on. So thank you so much, and we'll see you very soon. Take care.